Just a short video to introduce spinal posture and how we can go about having a braced neutral spine. So in all our exercises, we need to try and make sure we keep a neutral spine, that the natural curves in the spine stay there and that we brace it to protect the spine. But it's sometimes hard to know how do you get into a braced neutral spine position. So this is just a little sequence I picked up from a physical therapist called Kelly Starrett. So I thought I'd introduce this as a means of teaching people maybe a way of getting into braced neutral spine. So a lot of the time when we stand, we tend to quite often have a bit of anterior pelvic tilt going on, so we tend to be quite tight in the hip flexors from a lot of sitting, and sometimes our shoulders are rounded forward as well. So to get into a braced neutral spine, we need to be setting the shoulders and the pelvis to put our spine in neutral, and then we brace to hold it there. So this little technique for doing it starts at the feet. So we stand with our feet in the position that we want to exercise in, and then the first thing we do is imagine you're trying to rotate your feet, your toes away from each other. So you're trying to rotate your right toes to the right and your left toes to the left. You're not actually going to move them, but you're screwing your feet into the ground. And as you do that, you squeeze your glute muscles. And what that does is it sets the pelvis. So by doing that movement, if you watch my waistband, when I do that movement now, it tends to put the pelvis into neutral so that the lumbar spine is in the position we want to be in. So we screw our feet into the ground, squeeze the glutes, that sets our pelvis. We then take a deep breath in. When we breathe out, tighten the abs. We can now release the glutes a little bit and still hold that pelvic position with maybe about a 20% contraction of the abs. We then need to just pull the shoulders back and the palms out, and that sets our shoulders a bit further back. Then drop our hands by our side and just make sure that our chin is over our rib cage and our rib cage is over our pelvis. So that puts us in a good position to start any movement and make sure that our spine is neutral, and then we can brace it and hold it in that position.